Welcome back, everybody, to TriFecta Airsoft Podcast. I'm E-Rock, and this is part two of Keeper's Gun Show. We've got a ton of stuff to go through. Welcome to the podcast, my friend. Thank you for being on.
Glad to be here.
So, if you guys don't know Keeper, go to his channel, Nepa Airsoft. Search it on YouTube. Check out his channel. He's got tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of videos from way, way back to current day. And I'm talking like stuff. He's got specialty items that we've been going over since the last podcast that we're continuing on this one because we're going to have a couple of, two or three or four. This is going to be like a limited series like you see on Netflix. Okay, this will be continued until we're done with all these because he has so many. And the list I'm bringing up now is just the ones that he has currently that he has not sold. We've got a whole other section of guns and, you know, really cool stories behind each one. A whole other section that he's got a list of. So anyway, I think that you have sold already, right?
Oh yeah, I COVID was a bitch. I needed some cash, so I started selling this and that and back and
I
forth.
mean, well, how do you have room for them anyway, bro? Like some of these things are big and they're bulky. Where do you hang them?
Well, I was originally down in. I'm originally from Pennsylvania, and I was down in Galveston, Texas for a while. And my mom got sick back. Oh, I'd say about 2005, and I came back up to help with her, and she passed sadly. But uh, I stayed up here in Pennsylvania with my dad and the original family homestead, which is where we're at right now. And it's an old farmhouse, big long farmhouse, and like there was a master bedroom, there was the smaller bedroom, which was mine, and then there was a new area put on the back, which was another bedroom and a guest room. Well, I actually stripped hallways out and stuff like that and made a big bedroom in the back and left the one in the middle. Well, the bedroom in the back became the airsoft room, and it's like half the house upstairs.
Oh
Uh,
shit!
so,
So it sounds like we need a picture or video. We need a gun room video is what we need.
well, it's not really a gun room.
Yeah.
I call it more of a storage room, boxes on one side, boxes on the other side, and cases and shit in the middle of the room. Everything's in a case, everything's in a box. The big thing was I used to go hard cases for everything because, like the real steel stuff, I figure you had to have a good case for it. So I was
Right.
going out buying the Storm cases, the Pelican cases. I was
Oh
spending
shit!
$200-300 on a case
Right.
for an airsoft gun, not realizing that you could buy a soft case or you could buy a hell of a lot cheaper case
Yeah.
for just this airsoft gun. So I have a crap load of Pelican and Storm cases upstairs for a lot of this stuff. And it's funny, people will say to me, "Oh, I'll take the gun. I don't want the case because like dropped the price down on the case to include it with the gun, and they didn't want it." So
Yep.
I've got a whole shitload of empty cases on the side upstairs that have nothing in them anymore. So
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you could probably swap your really good cases for your airsoft guns and put the shitty, or put the your real steel guns in shitty cases because real steel guns are fucking durable, bro.
yeah,
Like,
unlike the airsoft stuff, yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'll
Oh
tell you,
yeah.
there's a story I had that my original TM MP5. I actually took it all apart, cleaned it all up, oiled it up, and I thought you had to wipe them down with oil to make just like regular guns, clean them all up there. And I had it all cleaned up and everything like that, and I put it in this storm case and I sealed it up. And I remember going back to it like almost a year later and opening that up, and it's an airtight, waterproof case, and that thing looked like the day I put it in there. And
Mm,
I said, "Well, that's how you got to do it. You got to keep the airsoft guns in those storm cases and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
now I've got a lot of soft cases and cheapo Amazon cases that I put shit in, and the soft cases are what I've been getting lately for a lot of the stuff. But I went crazy a little bit with the World War II stuff. I got a lot of drop cases for the Russian stuff. I had an
Oh
actual
yeah.
drop case for my old SVD, an actual vintage drop case. I have a
Right.
drop case for my PPSH.
Yeah.
I found a vintage case for my grease gun. I have a
Yep.
vintage case for my Thompson. I went out and I got online on all those antique sites, finding all these different cases to put the airsoft guns in, and I'm like, I think I spent more on the vintage cases than I actually did on the friggin' guns. Sometimes,
Let's see if we can find one.
now most of the time you'll find like the AK drop cases, uh, and it was easy to find one for PPSH. Uh, the one for the SVD was kind of special. I had to actually get that chip from Russia. There was a store in Russia that I found that like I could translate it with Google and figure out how much it was and this and that to get it sent over here. And I have since sold that SVD with all the parts and shit that I bought with it. But
Yeah.
that was a really fun gun too to have, the SVD. That was a lot of fun.
For
There's a
sure.
couple of places that don't allow, like that I go to now. They consider a sniper rifle to be a bolt action. They don't consider a semi-auto like SVD or like an M4 EBR that's locked in the semi. They don't consider that a sniper rifle.
Right.
They look at that as a DMR, and there's a whole new rule set for that and everything like that. But
Yeah.
at the time when I was using my SVD, it was a lot of fun because those follow-up shots were like semi-auto. I couldn't get over that. I had a bolt action before, and then getting this semi-auto SVD, which had a 680 millimeter barrel.
Holy crap, dude. I mean,
Barrel.
SVDs are long barrel anyway. Like they look
Yeah,
odd
and I said,
because they're so long.
I went through, and I wanted to get that gun to shoot for the field I was going to. So I got it as close as I could, 490 with 2.5s, so that it would get to like right to the field limit at that time. And I remember going to the field, and at the time the heaviest BB I was using at the time was like 2.8s. And I remember shooting at these guys, and the one guy coming up to me after a while, and he says, all I saw, he says, was BBs coming at me. He said, once in a while, and he said, man, did they whiz by me? And I was like, okay. And I had such fun using that gun, but I don't think I'd want to use it now. It was awful heavy. It was long. It
Yeah.
was unhandy to have it. So you had to have some pretty good arm strength because it was all metal. It wasn't, and it was real wood. It
Right.
was, it was really nice. I weathered the finish on it. It was a really nice looking weapon.
Is that
And
one you still have?
oh, I actually sold that one too.
Okay. Oh, so
And
that'll be on. Is that on the list here?
yeah, it's on the sold list. Yeah,
Mm.
and it's funny. The guy actually had an SSG 24 that he traded me plus some cash for my SVD. Think about that. He traded me a newer sniper rifle for the
Yeah.
SVD. And then I end up turned around and sold the SSG 24 as well.
Nice.
I was like,
Well, I'm
no,
looking. I'm looking at your sold items list. How would you mind if I bring that up because
go for it.
that sounds awesome. Do you have any idea? I'm looking at these tiny little thumbnails. I got to squint. Okay, so
Well, if you bring it up on the screen, I might be able to see real quick which ones are which.
oh, okay.
I don't know exactly. I don't remember what the thumbnail looks like. I'm not quite sure
Yeah,
where
that's
it is
fine.
on the list.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Yeah, different age. Keep going down. Yeah, keep going. It's not even
So
there
there's a
yet.
lever action pistol. Looks like an MP5 kind of thing. Looks like
Thompson's.
some revolvers in the middle there.
No, I don't see
Looks
it
like
yet.
a mounted 50 cal right
Yeah,
there.
I saw that too.
Woo!
Uh, you might have went by it.
Yeah, I'm looking. Is that? No, that can't be it.
Oh, that's the
Nope.
EBR I sold a guy in California.
Okay.
Uh, it,
Nope.
that's my ICS that I sold too. Uh,
Oh,
oh,
what
there it
about
is.
this?
No,
No,
that's that was the H
that's
part two.
the yeah.
I just saw it there. You had it
Oh,
on the
okay.
screen, and it scrolled by. There it is. Stop right next to the Derringer. See the Derringer in the middle?
Yep.
There it
There we
is.
go. Yep. Not
That's the
that's different
CSR.
than the thumbnail.
No, that is the CSR Echo One CSR. I sold that, so it's a different one. Shit.
Why is the thumbnail showing the
Oh,
wood stock
that's
one?
the one. That's the one I'm talking about. But I have the
Yeah.
wrong thumbnail to it. But I actually
Oh,
sold the
okay.
Echo One. I sold the Echo One too. So I'm like,
I gotcha.
um,
Yeah, I
right
mean
there,
that
like
could be
that. No, you
something.
just drag your mouse on it. Right next to the lever action. What is that one? Nope, that's the other EBR I sold. That's the problem. I
Oh
didn't put.
shit.
Well, we don't
Okay,
have
so
one.
some of these links, yeah. Some of the links aren't lined up with that particular. Okay,
Well, I
I mean
just have
that kind of looks like
thumbnail.
the SVD. Yeah,
If I find it, I'll send you a link for it there. But
yeah, that'd be awesome, dude.
because it's a really nice looking piece there. You get a good kick out of it.
Yeah, we'll go through the what we
Hey,
you
I
know.
normally don't check the sold links. I really check the only ones that are active right here.
Well,
So
sure, yeah. I just thought since you were talking about it, I thought it'd be cool to bring up, but we'll go over that another time if you want to. In the next part 3 or whatever. Actually, probably, honestly, probably part 4. Uh, we won't get to those sold items until, if we go in order, we won't get to the sold items until part 4 or 5. So, like I said, this could be like a limited series on Netflix, okay? 4 or 5 or 6 episodes, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, I guess you want to start on
Yeah.
one of the ones
Yeah,
right
let's
there. You
do
might as well put on
let's do the what we're
carbine.
on. We'll start at the top, like you said.
We've done the first two,
Yeah.
so you might as well click on that carbine.
Yep.
Now, I bought this because I had the pistol that
Now,
matched.
what is this? So, name what it is, so that people that are listening to the audio podcast,
I forget
part
the
can.
brand that it is.
It is. It's a. Well, shit. Where's the goddamn thing at? Hold on. It is a KJW Mark II carbine.
Yeah, they actually have a pistol. If you think about like a pistol length barrel without the stock, they have the same thing in a pistol, takes the same mags. So when I saw this, I thought, oh, I'll get the sniper rifle, and I tapped the mags so I could shoot this with HPA.
Nice.
The problem with this, okay, it's a real kludgy hop up. It's extremely light. I mean, this thing you could hold with one hand all day. It's all polymer. There's very little metal. The problem with this gun, it is a I guess they call it 2-stage trigger or
Double action.
double action trigger. You
Yeah.
pull the trigger, it pulls it back and fires it. It's got
Right.
an internal hammer assembly.
Yep.
So it actually fires, and it's a really hard trigger pull.
Yeah. Yeah. Double actions are not good. Yeah.
So with that in mind, you get it lined up to shoot. You got the trigger pulling back, and you flinch all the time.
Yep. Yeah.
That heavy trigger pull, and at short distances it wasn't bad. Maybe like 125 feet, something like that. It wasn't bad. But anything farther than that, forget it. And because I was doing it, the green gas it was only shooting like about 350. So
Yeah.
when I put HPA, I tapped the mag and I cranked it up as high as it would go. I could get a little over 400 with it, and it still just didn't have the snot to get out there to do any like damage at distance. People would like get hit and look around; they didn't feel the hit. It was a lot of fun to shoot, and it's real noisy. That double action trigger clunked. So when I shot, you not normally didn't hear it like the noise that would coming out of the barrel, but that clunk every time you shot.
Yeah, yeah,
Like it was very
yeah.
annoying. It's very light, and if you really needed something uh, quick to shoot at somebody, it was a handy gun. But the problem is the mags were only 15 rounds, so they're big, longs,
They look
single
long
stack.
as hell, like 30 round mags.
Yeah, but the spring is so long in there,
Oh,
it only goes down
it's so
about
tight.
halfway. Yeah, and you can only put 15 rounds in it. So it was an interesting gun that I
Now,
bought on a
where did
lark.
you find
I
this
had
one?
what's that?
Where did you find this one?
Actually, a place in New York. They sell them all over the place. But when I was at a place called Hotspot Airsoft out of New York, we actually drove up to the store. The guy had the pistol and he had this in stock, and I bought both of them there. So I'm like, I can use the pistol and I can use this sniper rifle, and I got the same mags for everyone. So I
Right.
thought, oh, it's a win-win. But it really didn't turn out the way that I thought it was going to do. It
Was
is
it?
very light, but
Was this something you guys were? You were in New York to, for a match, like an event?
oh no, we actually took a drive to an airsoft store. We
Oh,
actually
okay.
made the drive. It was like two and a
Well,
half.
how'd you
Like,
find that? Did you look up online or?
oh yeah, we were. I had ordered from Hotspot Airsoft in the past, and because it's in New York, they were like a day, maybe 2 days away when you would get shipping. So when you
Yeah.
needed something, bang, you order from him, bang, he'd send it down. You're looking to get something, you'd contact him, he'd get right back to you and say, oh, I can get this, I can get that for you. So I thought, well, let's drive. I think it was almost 4 hour drive, but I figured, what the hell? We might as well just go up, spend the day. We went up, drove up, me and a buddy. We spent like a couple hours there, got some dinner in New York. Then we came home. So I said it was a good trip just to see an
Yeah.
actual airsoft store.
Yeah.
But I said,
That's a
you know,
cool road trip.
yes, it is, and I would love, like, I think there's one near you, isn't it? Like Columbia Airsoft has a store near you.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Airsoft Columbia. We've got a few of them. Battle Cats. And those are all close.
See, now most of the like paintball places sell airsoft stuff like BBs, gas, and stuff like that, but they don't have like it wasn't a store specifically for airsoft. And this is one of these things you walk in. He had racks of gear, he had racks of guns, he had a counter with the pistols laid out underneath. Looking down through the glass, I was like a kid in a candy store when in there. I said my friggin' credit card was on fire when I was in
Oh
there.
Jesus.
So I'd like, oh boy, I should get this. Oh, I should get this. I should.
Now,
You know,
how early on? How early on was this? When is this early in your airsoft career? When one of those guys that was telling you, hey, get the 249, get the all you were buying like tons of different guns. Was this early on then?
yeah, this was like after that when I started hanging out with the guy that I'm on the team with now.
Okay.
And I said I want to get unusual stuff. I want to get different stuff. I don't want to have the M4. I don't want to have the AK.
Right.
I want to get something unusual. And they didn't have a sniper on the team. They didn't have this. They didn't have this type of gun or whatever. So I just started buying everything that I thought looked cool. And it might look cool, but it doesn't actually perform the way I think it should perform.
Yeah.
But well, it was a good gun to get though, just for shits and giggles when I got it. So
Sure. Yeah. I mean, it was probably a better road trip and a better experience buying the gun than the gun itself, like using it.
we
And it's a
bought
good wall hanger. I mean, it looks cool. It's different.
we bought BBs there. I remember my buddy bought a vest. We bought some mag pouches. No lie, we probably spent between the pair of us like $1,000, $1,500 there. No doubt, no doubt. Because I don't know how much this was. It wasn't that much, and the pistol
Yeah.
wasn't that much either. But it's like you're buying like two bottles of 2.5s, two bottles of 2.8s. Buy a vest, buy this, buy that. By the time you're done, it's adding up really quick.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm sure.
that was
I'm
a fun
sure.
one.
All right. That
You go
sounds
back.
awesome.
I think you can click and go back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go.
Yep.
Now, the next one right over across from it, the KJW KCO2,
Yep.
this one, I bought this for the fact that I said, I want something that a different type of sniper rifle. This was bought after the other one I had, the MK2. This one was a completely green gas. I decked it out, and it didn't shoot worth a shit. And I said, "Geez, what's wrong with this?" So
So
I
this is
get
a
on
green
the
gas. This is a green.
and
This is
it's
a
green
gas
gas.
sniper. Okay.
Gas. So I get
Is it
online,
semi-auto?
and yeah, semi-auto. And the guy says to me, "Oh, you got to change out the barrel. You got to get this barrel. You got to get this bucking. You got to get this hop up. You got to get this. You got to get that. You got to put this mod in." You know, I
The
spent.
guy you bought it from, or
Oh no. This was bought. Originally from from I think actually from Airsoft GI, and I put all this other stuff on it.
oh,
The
okay.
different grip, the different grip, the different stock, the different flash hider on the front. Um, I put the barrel in they recommended. I bought the hop up they recommended. I bought the mod that they had for the hop up, and the bucking is special bucking. And I'm like, all right, it's a little bit better, but it's still not shooting as good as it should. And these things the mags were extremely heavy. They're like a solid piece of iron. It almost felt like it was a big square block. So I said, I'm going to.
It looks like an MP5 mag. I mean, it looks like a pistol mag.
Yeah, and I think it was. I'm almost positive it was like 28 rounds or something close to that. So I put I tapped it. I put a HPA tap in it, and I was running off HPA air, or HPA, I should just say. And it was more consistent, but I still wasn't seeing the range and everything that I should have. Now, the one guy was telling me, "Oh, you got to break it in. You got to do this. You got to do that." And
Right.
I kept adding stuff, and I never got the performance out of it that I thought I should. I brought it to the field. Everybody thought, "Oh, wow, this looks really cool." Yeah, and it did look really cool. It's just it didn't perform the way everybody kept telling me that it should. And either I was doing something wrong or whatever. Now, the last thing I did is I ripped out the hop up and ripped out all the mods that the guys told me to do. And I bought another barrel for it, and I put the original hop up back in with a new bucking, and it was shooting fair. And I said, I'm going to leave it the way it is, then let's just let it go. And I have a guy that said to me, "Oh, I'd love to get a KCO2. I said, "Are you sure you want one?" He said, "I have one. I want to get another one as a spare." So that one might be going out the door.
So you never really got it shooting the way you really wanted it.
No, I'm not. I guess I was never a green gas type guy. Like when it came to like working on the green gas stuff, like pistols, I mess around with a little bit. But like the guy gave me a M4, a gas blowback, a KM4, I think that is, and like I never could get it working right for the guy. I'm not a gas type person. Work on gas guns. There's other guys. I actually had a gas blowback MP5 that I could not get working right. I give it to another guy. He fixed it all up. It's working like a champ. So it's just my tech level with gas guns was not up to par. And
Yeah.
I think it was reflected in this. I had the externals nice, but I didn't get the internals nice. But hopefully this guy that already has one, that wants to get another one, he might have a good time with this one, just for spare parts, or maybe just fix it up and get it shooting right. I don't know. So I'll sell him everything I got. And I actually went and bought like 6 mags for the damn thing too. So that's what happened. Every time I had a sniper rifle, I always bought like 6 mags for it. So I had enough mags. And these are real heavy mags. So it's like having 6 blocks of iron on you as you're walking around. It was not a light sniper rifle.
Yeah, for real. Awesome. All right, let's see here.
All right. Oh, the SAR 10. This is funny. This is an eBay special. Okay. They sell the SAR 10 on eBay for like half a nothing. And the reason it sounds like a VSR 10, but it's not. It's a proprietary mag, proprietary this,
So we
proprietary
got
that.
VSR10 and we got SAR10.
Yes, and this is a CO2 sniper rifle.
Yeah. Well, now the VSR comes in CO2 as well, right?
Not that I'm aware of. It might. I'm
Well,
not sure.
the VSR10, they I think the last podcast we did,
Oh, the
you
Bolt, the
mentioned
Bolt M can take
the
CO2. Yeah,
CSI, yeah, the CSI, right?
yeah. You
The
can actually
Wolverine,
get the you can get the adapter for it to run CO2,
correct?
but
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
using an
right,
HVA engine, so
right.
it's a little bit
Yeah.
different than this
So the
was.
VSR doesn't, the VSR10 does not actually come in CO2. It's if you swap out the bolt with the Wolverine,
Yeah.
they have an adapter. Yeah. Okay.
Now this, when you're on the field, there was a little pin down the bottom. You would pull down, your bolt would come all the way out. You'd unscrew it in half, and you'd put a CO2 inside there. Screw it back together. Pull your bolt in. Push the pin up, and as soon as you screw it together, it would like pop the CO2,
Right.
so you would charge. So then you could shoot. Well, it would shoot great like the first 3-4 shots. And then as the CO2 went down, they're getting less and less until they were horrible. You would go through a mag for a CO2 cartridge, and at the end of the mag, they weren't shooting worth of shit.
Yeah.
And it shot very, very hot. This thing out of the box was shooting like 650 FPS with 2 of them.
Holy shit!
That's the CO2.
I mean, dude.
CO2. Now,
What is the limit? Do you know? Now you have experience with airsoft, more than anyone I know. What is the limit with, as far as FPS hitting a solid surface? A .2 BB, just demolishing itself, breaking in half or whatever, or breaking your your eye pro. Like, it's 600 something sounds like crazy, bro.
Well, I Norbert had that one where he was shooting that like 700 plus FPS sniper rifle that they put the spring in, and they were doing all kind of stuff with it. And like I saw a couple of videos where they have the like no FPS limit game, which is scary as hell because you don't know what the next guy is
Holy
shooting at you.
shit!
Yep, they actually had games like that. And this kind of gun probably would work good there, but I actually said, okay, how can I bring this FPS down? Okay, so I said, well, I'll take the barrel out and I'll put a wide bore barrel in it. So I put a 6.23 wide bore barrel in it. I said that'll dissipate some of the CO2. It'll cut down the FPS. Plus, it's supposed to be a better barrel. It surrounds the BB with air or whatever, how the physics is explained for that particular barrel. So I put the tight bore or the wide bore barrel in there, and I had it shooting about it. It dropped to almost like all 75 FPS. It was below. It was like below 600 now. It's like 5 something. So I said, okay, what else can I do to knock this down? So I got a suppressor with nothing in it. It was open. Just had the hole on the one side, hole on the other side. Put that on the outside. Now they have, I think it's called the Magnus effect, where the air is coming out. It goes in front of the BB and it like slows it down.
Oh, okay.
It goes around the BB.
Right.
So I put that on, and I got it shooting around 490 FPS with that on.
Oh shit.
The problem is the Magnus effect buffets the BB all around. So sometimes it would hit inside the side of that suppressor.
Inconsistent, right?
Sometimes it would go to the right, go to the left, go up, go down. It was all over the place. It was in spec. I was shooting in the limit, the field limit.
If it'll make it out the barrel.
Yeah, but it was just so
make it out the end.
Shooting
yeah.
It. So I just eventually said, "Oh, screw this."
Now, did you have to do any mods on the end of that to put that suppressor on? Did you just unscrew the orange tip and it was okay?
That took a VSR 10 end cap on it.
Oh,
so
okay.
I was able to take that out, and I had a VSR 10 end cap that I put on there. I was able to put the suppressor on there. What I do with that now is, like, if I need something I want to plink for a while, I used to put it out there and put some like little tin pop-up targets up and was shooting at them with that. But it's like it's a CO2 cartridge, and it's good for like 5, 6 shots, and then it starts going down, and it wasn't worth even shooting. It's a nice looking body and everything like that, but it was a non-standard mag. It was shorter than the VSR 10 mags. Uh, the hop up was a little goofy too. It was not a slider on the side; it was a screw on the top.
Oh God.
So I was like, it was completely different than like a VSR 10 style gun. And I
Yeah.
always thought about like, oh, maybe I could swap parts out, but nothing would fit in it. You wouldn't be able to. The bag well was smaller. Probably the hop up where it was, it wouldn't line up and stuff like that. So I said it was a nice gun and it was very inexpensive. This is a rifle that was like under, I think it was like $75, if that, for sniper rifle. And I
Yeah.
said, that's what you got. I'm not, I'm not going to do anything with it. I had a guy who wanted to buy this off me, and I wouldn't sell it to him. I said, you're not going to be able to use this at any field. I said,
Well, maybe he wants to. Maybe he wants to shoot his squirrels in his backyard, bro. Because
well,
700 FPS or 600 and something FPS out the box. I mean, I'm telling you now.
but the thing of it is, maybe I have the original barrel for it, this whole 9 yards. Maybe put it all back together, but then I hope this guy don't try to use it at an airsoft field. That's the only thing. So I just didn't really want to sell it to anybody. Just in
Yeah,
case
but I
somebody
mean,
tried to.
isn't it the responsibility of the airsoft field owners or refs or whatever, whoever's doing the tests, like
But you would hope
shouldn't.
so. You would hope so. Most of the fields I go to, the guy doing the chrono, he's on the ball. So something like this would never go through anyway.
I would imagine. I would really hope that these guys, in charge of the airsoft fields, have control of who's getting on their field.
Yep.
You know, like somebody can't just run off and not hit the chrono before they go in.
When the guy says, "Oh, can I give you like $50 now and pay 100 at payday?" And I'm like, "No."
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you can give me 50 now, but the gun will stay here until you give me the other 100.
100%. Yeah.
Or I had a guy that said, "I want to buy this pistol off you. Can I use it today at the game? And then I'll
What?
pay you later." And I'm like,
No.
"You can pay me now, and it's your pistol. You break it, bang."
Right.
And he actually, another guy bought the pistol off me, and then he sold the pistol to this guy, and he had it one game, and he lost the mag and broke the end off another mag where he dropped it
Oh
out.
my God.
So I'm like, and then he's bitching at the guy who wants his money back. And I'm like, that's not his fault. You lost a mag and broke the other mag. I'm like, accidents happen. I said, the gun was working when you took it. I said,
Yeah.
just because you don't handle your mags right or you lost your mag, that's not his fault. He's coming back to me about it. And I'm like, hey, I'm out of this. I already sold the gun and he sold it to you. So go to him if you want. So
That is
now
good.
this next one, this is a funny one.
This is honestly, this is something the UHC Super X9 I've never heard of.
This is
Like, what
again,
is that?
this is a shell ejecting sniper rifle.
What?
Shell ejecting sniper rifle. It comes with a little like round. It looks like a half round little clip. Holds 5 shells, and you put a BB in the front of each shell, and it clips up underneath the gun. And every time you cock it, and one will fly out, it fires. You cock it, it flies out. 5 rounds in that little clip comes with, like, the gun itself came with 2 clips and 10 shells. Well, I found out online where I could buy another magazine for it and another box of 10. So I had 20 shells and 3 of these magazines, right? I think I have like 9 shells left out of the 20. It's like every time you cocked it, it's like, okay, where the fuck did that go now? And it like would fly off into the woods somewhere. You'd never find a damn thing. It actually, and it was a very low FPS gun too, because it was a spring powered gun, but the problem was that shell with the BB in it, didn't have a good air seal, with all that stuff in trying to get in line to get a good air seal, you lost a lot of air out of it. So shot to shot consistency was not there. It was good for maybe like 80 feet. I might do good with it, but I'm like anybody with a decent AEG would outrange it. But it was the fact that it was shell ejecting. It was so cool, and that until you lost all the shells, and then you're like, okay, I'm out of shells. So, like, I know I only have like 9 out of the 20 left. And I have these 3 magazines and 5 rounds in this little magazine. That's all you had. So, every time you're going out there, you shoot 5 times. Then you got to change out the magazine and put another 5 rounds in it. And it was a good, like, gimmick, but on the airsoft field, not practical.
Yeah.
So, that actually was a very inexpensive gun, too. The newer version, they had a newer version of this, which had an alternate way that you didn't have to use the magazine. It was this big, long, like, clip thing that you would put on the side of the gun, and it would hold like 50 rounds. And everybody said it didn't work right, didn't feed right, the whole 9 yards. They'd have to go back to the little magazines and eject the shells out. So it looked cool when you cock the gun and the friggin' shell goes flying. Oh, wow, that looks sharp. Until you go looking for the shell after you're shooting it, though, of course.
Exactly.
And they're brown. They were brown, so they go in the leaves. You never find them. So it was a fun experiment, but not something that I would want to like use on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's not something you want to use on the field for sure.
Yeah. Any shell ejecting gun they're a good gimmick, but no, That's like this shell ejecting shotgun I saw the one guy had. He brought it out to a game, and I'm like, I saw shells flying this way, flying that way, and then he's spending like 10 minutes trying to find all the shells at the end of the game. And I'm like, dude, how many shells do you have? He said, I lost like 3 already. I'm like, it's not worth having. So
no. Airsoft has to be expendable, bro. Like,
yeah, so this was a failed experiment. I bought this because I thought it would be cool.
Yeah.
And it was cool, but it wasn't practical, so it was a waste of time. And the shells are probably somewhere on the field out there somewhere. Who knows? You can one day find 1 or 2 of them, but I'm like, I ain't gonna worry about it. If somebody wanted to buy that for like a young kid to play around with, I'd sell it to them for half of nothing and say, hey, hopefully you can find the shells after you shoot this damn thing. So,
right.
Now this one, there's a story on this one. This is the original. It's a picture of the original gun. Since this one, the sear, piston sear broke on it, and you can't buy another piston sear. I probably could make one up and get it going, but other things happened to it. So I thought, this gun, I'm going to try and find it. This was a UTG M234. The guy that had it said to me, hey, I'll trade you this sniper rifle for a pistol that I have. And I said, well, bring the sniper rifle over so I can see it. And he brings it over, and I try to cock it, and it wouldn't cock. And he said, oh, yeah, I had it apart. I was trying to fix some stuff in there. And I said, and the end is gone off, but the barrel's just sticking.
I don't see a bolt. Like, how do you cycle it?
No, it's got a handle. It's right above the trigger there. It's leaning down.
Oh, okay.
But when I got the gun, it had no end piece on it. He lost that. And the barrel is just like sticking out of the gun a little bit. And it's wobbling. And I said, well, where's the end piece for that? Oh, I had to break that off. I couldn't get it off. And I'm like, it's counterclockwise when it comes off, And he said, I couldn't get it off. So I said, I'm not going to trade you a pistol for this. There's just too much wrong with this. So he's getting ready to leave, and he says to me, here, you can have this. I don't want it. So I took it apart, and here he had tried to put a regular barrel in this gun, and it took a proprietary barrel. So the barrel had crimped down because of an AEG barrel. He crimped it in there, and he's wondering why the BBs wouldn't go through.
Yep.
And he couldn't get the end off the cylinder. So he took a pair of pliers, and he ground the crap out of the nozzle, trying to get it off. And then he finally pried it out of there instead of unscrewing it. So the gun was like trashed.
Yep.
So a guy that I know had one of these that he broke the piston sear on. So he said, you can have it. So he had taken it all apart. He was missing this, missing that. And he gave me some parts, and I was able to fix the gun that it would work. I put spacers in it. I actually put an end cap on it. I made up myself. I did all kind of stuff to it. It was a really loud gun, but it shot great, and it had a really it had a really nice soft bolt pull and everything with it. And I was using it for quite a while, and it shot like about 450 with 2.0s. So it was a little light. I was able to take it to any field and get it in under chrono. And I remember taking it to the one game, and I'm pecking people all the time with it. And I'm at this one spot there, and the guy that was next to me said, "Oh, he's over by the barrel." And I remember pulling the gun back, and it cocked. And I went to shoot, and it shot without me. The piston sear just broke, and you heard the gun fire. And then it wouldn't catch. So I started looking to see if I could find a UTG M234. No such animal online. Anywhere you find them, they're out of stock, discontinued, whatever. And I said, wow, this is bad. So
Yeah.
I put a message out on the sniper forum. I said, do you guys ever hear of this gun? And the one guy on there, and he said, well, that's a double eagle M50. I said, no, it's an UTG M234. He said, yeah, it's a rebranded double eagle M50. Went online. Amazon's got tons of them.
Oh, shit.
So I went online on Amazon, and for $80, I bought another one. Okay. And I just did a little bit of work on it, put some stabilizing the barrel and stuff like that. And the thing out of the box was shooting like 480 with 2.0. So I said, it's perfect.
Ain't bad.
And it's got a really, really quiet bolt pull. And I said, I took parts from the other one and I fixed this. I said, it was a great gun. I'm still using it. And this is my go-to sniper rifle. I don't have some expensive sniper rifle. I've got maybe like the scope and everything I put in it. Maybe it's a $150 gun. And it runs like a champ. And the people are like, oh, what weight BBs you using with that? I said, 3.2s. I said, I don't want to use anything heavier than that. I said, I don't think it'll pick them up, but I use 3.2s in that, and it shoots fantastic. And I said, I'm getting shots out there to 175, 180 feet. I said, that's fine for what I got to do. So I said, I'm having a good time with it. And I said, if someone says to me, oh, I want to buy a sniper rifle for my son or something like that, I've got like 2 or 3 that are under $100 that somebody can snag for somebody. But I'm like, this is a fun gun to shoot. It's very lightweight, too. One of the things, though, that Double Eagle does is they put a metal weight in the stock, and they put a metal weight in the front of the gun, too, to give it some heft. Well, first thing I did was take it apart and take the weights out of it. Now the gun is super light when I'm walking around. I'm like, because the one guy picked up, he's like, oh, my God, this gun is so light. It's lighter than my VSR-10. I said, yep. If I had the weights in there, it would be heavy again. And there were them ugly-looking rusty steel bars that they put in there. Oh, Lord. Like, and I got 3 or 4 of them now that I've taken out of guns. And I said, they're lighter, they're easier to use now. And I said, I don't need all that extra weight to walk around with to make the gun feel like a real gun. I said, no. It's an airsoft gun. I don't care if it feels like a real weapon. So
100%, bro. Especially when you're sniping. Like, who are you going to show it to?
Right.
What?
Now,
for real?
The only thing I've done to this is I put a woodland front end on this, so it camouflages it a little bit when I'm somewhere. But a lot of times, I'm just using the trees to walk through different areas and stopping and standing next to a tree and nobody even sees me with my dark camouflage on. So I'm like, I don't have to have a big ass ghillie suit on and shit like that. I hide good enough. So, and if people see me, they shoot at me. What am I gonna do? So that's part of the fun.
It is. So now, I want to ask you, what is above that scope on this picture? Is that a cigar?
No, that's the metal from one of the pieces of metal from the stock or from the front grip. The one in the front was the more flat. That's the one from the rear. It doesn't show enough of the picture, but right above that is a square flat piece of just like that rusty metal that was in the front of the stock. So
Ah,
that is
okay.
actually, I didn't know it was still in the picture. I forgot about that. That was the one that was in the stock.
That's
And you could hear
crazy.
it. You could hear it. It wasn't solid too. If you shook the stock, it would go bump, bump, bump. It would bang around a little bit.
That's
And like it
crazy.
wasn't like added or anything. It was just like laid in there, you
It
know.
looks
So
like a cigar. I thought, okay, so he's got this, the gun set up. He's got his glasses there, like, and it looks like a gun table here. You got it's dirty with like gun oil or whatever, and he's got a cigar up here. Like, okay, I
oh,
work on guns and I smoke cigars.
oh, no, no, no. That's actually the junky piece of metal that was in it.
That's funny.
I host some websites like for people, and I break even with it. So that's about the only reason I actually still run it. I do some airsoft teams too on there too. Usually, like I'll give them a real good price on a website where they can put up their stuff. I got our team running on there. I have the Wolfpack Airsoft on there, and DMH, which is Dead Man's Hands Airsoft. They're on
Oh,
there,
okay.
and a
Is
couple
that a
other guys.
local? Is that a local group to you guys?
Yeah, they're all local teams to this. They're
Okay.
smaller. Like Dead Man's Hands only has like 5 members, and they usually come out. I usually invite them out the field to hang out with us and stuff
Now,
like that.
the guy that started that team, would he be willing to do a podcast like this?
Sure, I think he would.
Yeah.
He works night shift, so it's kind of like tough for him. Like I think it's like
Yeah.
third shift he works, so I don't know. Like he's getting home like 6 o'clock in the morning, so it might be a little
Right.
tough.
Right. That's
We
something
can
I could
actually,
do.
yeah, it'd be cool. He'd have a
Well,
good time. There's another one too called Nori Airsoft. I actually have a small field that's about an hour and a half south of me. He's the same thing like me. It's a guy that owns the property, and he made this field all around his house, which is interesting. His house is in the middle of the field, and they
oh
play all
shit.
around his house. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he has a pretty good group. They were just out the house this Sunday. Like 20 of them. They come out and just had a good time with us. So we had a good day with them. So I invite all these local teams out all the time, and then there's one from New Jersey comes up. Their team handle is Outer Heaven. That's their handle. They wear a tiger stripe type uniform. There's like 6 of them. They're really cool guys. But we always invite them up when there's a gang at the house. They come up. I like doing that. I like inviting other teams up to come out and that we know and have a good time. So we have a lot of fun there. We come out. Sometimes it's warm. We cook out or throw something on the grill or whatever like that. So
Yeah, it's been great, man. Thank you so much.
no problem, man.
All right.
All right. Hey, we'll see you there.